Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty incredible. We're looking at one of the most fascinating compounding equations in music history, the absolute mathematical ascent of Ed Sheeran. We're going to explore how raw, unfiltered talent met an incredibly calculated strategy to create a global superstar. Let's get right into it. So how exactly does an artist armed with basically just an acoustic guitar manage to completely break records in the digital streaming age? How do you secure the title of Artist of the Decade? I mean, it's no small feat, right? Especially when you consider we're in an era completely dominated by heavily produced pop music. Well, let's start with Section 1, humble beginnings and first record. Because before all those sold-out stadiums and the billions of streams, the origins of this massive career trajectory actually lie in Halifax and Framlingham.
Born in 1991 in Halifax, West Yorkshire, Edward Christopher Sheeran was already writing songs by the time he was just 11 years old. Think about that. And by 2011, his relentless independent hustle finally paid off with the independent release of the No 5 Collaborations project. That DIY grit, that was the exact catalyst he needed to land his defining deal with Asylum Records that very same year. It really just goes to show how foundational that early, quiet, behind-the-scenes grind actually is.
Moving on to Section 2, adding and multiplying success. From those indie origins, Sheeran launched into what is honestly an incredibly calculated branding masterclass. The whole equation really kicks off in September 2011 with his breakout debut album, Plus. This gave us his first huge hit, The A-Team, and quickly netted him some early Brit Awards. Then, 3 years later, in June 2014, he compounded that reach with Multiply, which ended up being the second best-selling album globally by 2015. And then came March 2017. He completely dominated the entire globe with Divide, taking the absolute crown for the best-selling album worldwide that year.
Now, the Multiply era wasn't just a commercial success. It was a total critical takeover. We're talking Album of the Year at the 2015 Brit Awards, plus the super prestigious Ivor Novello Award for Songwriter of the Year. But it was his massive smash hit, Thinking Out Loud, that really swept the 2016 Grammys. He walked away with the huge honors of Song of the Year and Best Pop Solo Performance.
Which brings us to Section 3, dividing and conquering the charts. If Multiply proved his staying power, the Divide era basically took a sledgehammer to the glass ceiling of the global music industry. Get this, he drops the first two singles from Divide, Shape of You and Castle on the Hill, and they both break international records by debuting in the top 2 chart positions simultaneously. In the US, he actually became the very first artist in history to have 2 songs debut in the top 10 in the exact same week. I mean, that is just an unbelievable level of simultaneous cultural impact.
10. I want you to keep this number in mind. By March 2017, he had racked up an incredible 10 top 10 UK singles from that one single album, Divide. He quite literally rewrote the UK singles chart record books for the most top 10 singles pulled from just one record. Absolutely wild.
Fueled by massive global singles, including the track Perfect, which hit #1 in the US, Australia, and secured the UK Christmas #1 spot in 2017, his success was literally unstoppable. He was rightfully named the Global Recording Artist of the Year. But beyond the record sales, you've got to remember the live shows. His Divide tour grew into an absolute juggernaut. He was selling out massive stadiums across the world with just an acoustic guitar and a loop pedal. It was an unprecedented logistical and musical feat, and it broke all touring records to become the highest-grossing concert tour in history by August 2019.
All right, Section 4, collaborations and recent eras. Evolving past those initial 3 math symbols, Sheeran continued to boldly experiment with his musical formula.
His creative momentum just refused to slow down. He scored multiple UK #1s with his 2019 No 6 Collaborations project, giving us hits like I Don't Care and Beautiful People. He then went back to his mathematical roots with Equals in 2021 and Subtract in May of 2023. Later that same year, he launched his own label, Gingerbread Man Records, to drop Autumn Variations. And proving that tireless work ethic is still blazing away, he lined up his 8th studio album, Play, for release in September 2025.
But, his creative reach isn't just trapped in the recording studio. Interestingly enough, he even dipped his toes into acting. Utilizing his background as an alumnus of the National Youth Theatre in London, he appeared on the big screen playing himself in the wildly popular 2019 feature film Yesterday.
Section 5, a legacy by the numbers. We've talked through the timelines, we've looked at the massive tours and the constant musical evolution. So what is the final tally of this phenomenal equation?
The sheer unmatched scale of his cultural footprint really comes down to this number: 200 million. That is 200 million records sold worldwide. This staggering figure comfortably places him right up there among the very highest tier of the world's best-selling music artists of all time.
Adding directly to that sum, he holds a mind-blowing 119 million RIAA certified units in the United States alone. And that's basically the industry's gold standard for tracking music sales. The demand for his music has just been completely 100% relentless.
And reflecting his absolute dominance as he transitioned from physical record sales into the modern streaming era. As of July 2024, he ranks as the third most followed artist on all of Spotify, number 3 in the world.
With 2 of his albums sitting permanently on the all-time UK bestsellers list, he was rightfully crowned the Artist of the Decade by the official charts company for his unmatched combined success throughout the 2010s. And recognizing this unbroken chain of cultural impact, Time magazine cemented him as one of the world's 100 most influential people in 2025.
So as you process how one single artist from West Yorkshire completely transformed modern pop music through relentless songwriting and a brilliant mathematical branding strategy, you kind of have to ask yourself, what mathematical equation will Ed Sheeran write next? And maybe more importantly, looking at his relentless consistency and this absolute masterclass in branding, what equation are you writing for your own success? Thanks so much for joining this explainer. We'll catch you next time.